hobby. I understand you're now gigging for Jesus. What does that mean?
Well, gig. If you take that word gig, G-I-G, it's a thing that comes from the old jazz players when they used to stand on the corner in Wardour Street and wait for work. They used to say to themselves, I got myself a gig, which means God is good. Did you know that, man? Bonnie Scott, I tell you. So I am gigging for God, yeah.
And what are you doing now since you came back to the music scene, but a different music scene?
Well, I'm playing basically for my, if you like, my ministry. You know, it's something that I feel that the Lord has chosen me for. You know, I've been through all the hard times. I know what it's all about. I know people are still going through hard times, especially young musicians and people generally who have their depressions, their lifestyle. And, you know, life can be a struggle, as one knows. You know, pressure. And I mean, surely Matthew will tell you about that with his experience in Procul Harum. But I feel now that when I do a concert, and it is a concert, I am really getting through to people through the help of the Lord. And hopefully, and I know this, that I am saving a few souls. And that means a lot to me, rather than going off after a gig and getting stoned out my head.
Nothing's really changed in today's music scene. It's still sex, drugs and rock and roll.
Well, I would imagine so.
So what do you do now? You're involved with a particular church. Could you tell me about how you...
I'm not involved particularly with one church. I'm involved with many churches around my area, around Southend, Chelmsford, and Harlow, and Essex. And if people enjoy what I do and they ask me back, that's wonderful. You know, I don't particularly like playing very often, but when I do play, I like to enjoy it and know that I've done something good.
How did you re-establish contact with Matthew Fisher? Did you lose contact?
No. I think we've always been in contact. Matthew and I have always stayed in contact by telephone. I like to know how he's doing, he likes to know how I'm doing, and we've always stayed in touch, and I was glad to help him when it comes through the courts with the white shade of power. I thought I had some information that could help him, and I'm glad it did, because he won the case and he's getting what he deserves many years later. But that's one example of greed, deception, and that's what people do in the rock and roll business. They're greedy. Most managers I've ever come across, like Tony Secunda and Danny Caldell, and although they can't speak for themselves, I won't say anything or bad rap them, but they weren't my type of person. They messed my head up.
But obviously now your head is been rearranged by Jesus.
Yeah, that's why I went to Iceland. That helped me to get all that bad stuff out of my life.
And did you come back as a born-again Christian to the UK?
No, I didn't come back as a born-again Christian. It was 2-3 years later that I became a born-again. I came back in 1991, and I became a born-again Christian, I think, 1993.
How did it happen then? Was there a specific date
No,
that you can
because
remember?
I was living the life of wanting to be a part of the Lord's army, if you like. You understand? I wanted to pass something else on and try and help other people to feel the way I did once I was cleared, if you understand. And one day I just walked into a Christian fellowship and started to speak to the pastor, and we decided to go from there. End of story. This is what I'm doing now.
How did you approach Matthew at this time? Why now?
I think he approached me, didn't you, man? Asked me if you could play. We were talking, I was informing Matthew about what I was doing. And Matthew was quite interested, and we always are, about what we're doing. And we just started to talk about, well, maybe you could come back and play and do a concert with me.
But you kept apart because of the court case. It's only since the successful end that Matthew is coming to play with you, is that
I don't think it's exactly like that. We didn't really... Matthew was always playing with Gary Brooker. And he had his work he was doing, and I was doing mine. So, you know, I wasn't in this country very much. And then when I came back, you know, yes, of course, I wanted to get in contact. I wish I could have been in contact with all the others, you know, but it seems like Matthew and I have stayed in contact. And we always used to talk about what we were doing, what we weren't doing, what Gary was doing. And then came the court case, which Matthew would tell you all about. But it was a very hard time for Matthew. And after the court case, he feels like he wants to play again. So, you know, he can use my musicians, my band, if he wants. He's welcome.
So, will this be the first time you're planning a gig together? What's that? What did you say gig meant? Good in God? God is good?
God is good.
So you're doing a God is good. On what date are you doing that?
On the 21st of August at the Holy Trinity in Rayleigh in Essex. Matthew will be a part of the band that night.
Will he be playing the organ?
He'll tell you what he'll be playing.
Okay, what will you be playing? Are you back on drums?
No, I'm lead singer. I might go and play with Matthew on drums for a couple of songs.
Are you going to do White a Shade of Pale?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Will it be a finale?
I sing it better than Gary Brooker. Why shouldn't I do it?
At your age?
At my age, 71.
I can remember one thing. We were doing this gig and something went wrong with Gary's mic. We were doing some Rock Me Baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Gary's mic went wrong. It's like he was going, you know, you couldn't hear anything. And you were drumming away, but you had a microphone. You just grabbed the microphone and you started singing just to make up for the fact that at least your mic was working and Gary's wasn't. I remember that. It was great.